Ma'am, are you saying something? Ma'am, your voice is not coming.
Okay. So in the previous class, we are start of one chapter. I just do the revision of the HTML chapter that you learn in the class 7 and the 6. Now I want to show you some of the pictures. You have to tell me what is the picture. Then we will be go ahead with a new chapter. And I want to suggest you to everyone, please watch the videos of the class 6 and 7 HTML chapters. Okay, can you tell me what is the image?
Ma'am, it is the skeleton.
This is the skeleton. Okay. Everyone knows that. Okay. Can you tell me what is the image? ये किसकी इमेज है आप मुझे बता सकते हो? Anyone? Can anyone tell me what is the image?
A boy. A person.
One of the boy, or you can say that it's one of the weak boy. Is it okay if I give that name? It's an image of a weak boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay? Yeah, you see it's a weak one. Now, can you tell me about this image? Wait, I'm zooming it. Yes, anyone?
Ma'am, this is the image of a strong person.
Ma'am, a strong boy.
A strong person who have a muscles, who have a strong body also. The image is for the weak person. And the next image I show you that is about the strong person. So now we are, as our chapter name, you know, in the previous class I told you that is the CSS in the HTML. So why I show this pictures? This is our HTML program. Assume that this is our HTML program. When you apply CSS in your HTML program, it will be looks like this. Simple definition, simple. I'll show you the example. Why you using the CSS? What do you like? A weak person or the strong person? किसको आप like करोगे? Weak को like करोगे? Strong को like करोगे? Who have a full body and muscles? Whom you like? Strong or the weak? Students, please tell me whom you like, strong person or the weak person? आप किसको like करोगे? This one or this one? Speak loudly. I cannot hear a single person voice. I'm expecting answer from your side, so you have to be speaking. Which person will be like? Yes?
Strong person.
Strong person. You don't like the weak person. So remember, assume that the weak person is your HTML program. When you apply CSS in your HTML program, it will become a strong person. So if you want to make your web page more effective and effective, that time you have to be using the CSS. Why we are using the CSS? It will be used to properly arrange the web page and more attractive than the simple one. Now I want to show you the second example that I show you the first image. What is this?
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
Skeleton. Yes. This is a skeleton.
Skeleton, ma'am.
Your HTML program, whenever you apply a CSS in the HTML program, that time the skeleton become a normal person who have a muscles, who have a body, who have a skin. So remember, nothing changed in the HTML program. जैसे आप करते थे वैसे ही करना है, exactly वैसे ही HTML फाइल बनानी है. बस आपको थोड़े extra efforts डालने पड़ेंगे HTML program में. So now, have you understood what is the difference between the CSS and HTML with these two examples? Normal, आपको समझ में तो आ रहा होगा ना, HTML इसको बोलेंगे, हम CSS इसको बोलेंगे. Example, I'm going to show you the definition, but want to explain the difference between the CSS and HTML. Understood what will be the difference will be whenever you are using the CSS in HTML and when you will not use CSS in the HTML file. So skeleton is the example of simple HTML, and a normal person who have a body, skin, even the muscles, that is a normal person is a CSS file, HTML file with a CSS. Now, let's start the CSS. What is the CSS? Firstly, you have to remember full form of CSS. Tell me the first, what is the full form of HTML?
Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Markup language.
Yes.
Hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language.
Everyone knows hypertext markup language. Now we are going to learn this first, use the CSS, then we apply the CSS style effect in the HTML. Everyone knows what is the HTML. Now we are going to learn the CSS. What is the full form of CSS? Cascading style sheets. Full form of CSS, cascading style sheet. What is the meaning of sheets? Anyone can tell me? Have you heard that word?
A sheet of paper, ma'am.
Yes. Can you please tell me what is the sheets? Yes, Rutvi, you raise your hand.
Ma'am, a sheet of paper, ma'am. A sheet, ma'am, it is like a paper.
A thin layer of an object.
Like a paper in which you are writing something, but in language of HTML or computer, you can say it's one of the web page. What do you mean by the style? What do you mean by the style? Okay, so tell me, whenever in the previous 2 years we are using the HTML, we are adding the background, we are adding the font color, you are changing the font size. That is all things are called the style, which you are changes to make your web more attractive. And now, what is the meaning of cascading? That is a sequence. Cascading means a sequence. Means in the sequence, you have to make your style and change your web page and make it attractive. Now, what is the CSS? CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, paper, or in other media. किस तरह से display करना है वो totally CSS में आप describe कर सकते हो. Next, what is the CSS? It's a save a lots of work. It can control the layout of multiple pages all at once. One CSS file will be you can use one CSS file for multiple web pages. Previous years में जब हम HTML फाइल बनाते थे, जैसे हम heading tag का यूज करते थे, उसका font का कलर चेंज करना, तो you are writing the attribute H1 font color, right? You are writing only that thing, so it will be changed only that web page color. But whenever you are making a CSS file, it will be changed. You can use the same style for the different web pages. Now, this is the CSS style that is used for the multiple things. Okay, so this is the definition of CSS, why we are using the CSS. Remember the full form of CSS. CSS stands for the cascading style set. Everyone remember the meaning of cascading? Cascading means a sequence. In the sequence, you can make your style, you can make your web page more attractive in compare of simple HTML. Now, why we are using the CSS? Reasons for using the CSS. First reason, HTML was created to describe the content of the web page. Simply आप क्यों बनाते हो? आपको वेब पेज बनाना है, दिखाना है कि इसमें ये हम यूज कर सकते हैं. Simple one. For example, H1. This is the heading. This is the paragraph. Whenever your text like a font, color, attribute added to the HTML 3.2. It's a 3.2 is the version of HTML. Specification, it has started a problem for the web developer. Sometimes it will be confusing whenever they are develop their websites online. जैसे आप दूसरी website देखते हो, web developer are the developers who develop the websites, different web pages. For developing the development of large websites where font, color, information were added to every single page become a long and expensive process. जब developer के लिए this is the अभी तक हमने क्या देखा, simple HTML फाइल देखी, simple web pages बनाए, simple websites बनाए, right? But when you are making a more complex file, हमने सारे text differently web pages में बनाए. Whenever you make in a one single page, it will be a complex one. वो क्या होगा, थोड़ा complex हो जाएगा, जिसकी वजह से developers means who are creator of web page and website, they will be confused. Where I have to be used the attribute, why I'm using this tag, that time he or she will be confused. For that purpose, to solve this problem, the W3C created the CSS. Who is the inventor of CSS? W3C. CSS remove the style formatting from the HTML page. जैसे आप previous years में use करते थे, simple text use करते थे, उसके साथ आप attributes को भी add करते थे, right? Whenever you are using the CSS, now you don't have to use any attribute. Just write down the text and make another CSS file and apply all the text in the same HTML file. Now we are going to, sorry. Again, I'm going to share. Now we are going to see what is the syntax of CSS. How can you write the CSS? This is the syntax of CSS. For example, you are using the H1 tag, heading tag, first heading tag, H1. And you want to apply effects on the H1, that purpose you have to be write down this. This is the, what is the name of all things? Whenever you are writing the name of tag, that is called the selector. Remember the names. It will be asked to you what is the name of the tag in the CSS. It is called the selector, and the text you can see between the curly bracket, this is called the curly brackets, is called the description. But in the description, that is, you have to show the more details. You can see here the color. The color is called the property. You can use a different one also, not only color. This is only an example. And whenever you are writing the name of color, it is called the value. Remember the names. Tag is called the selector in which you want to be apply the CSS. That is called the selector. In the curly bracket, whatever you are writing, whatever your style you are writing, that is called the description. For example, you are changing the color of heading. That is called, the color is called the property, and the value of color is called the value. Same for the font size. Font size is called the property, and this is 14 pixel is called the value. But one more thing you have to be remember. I'm thinking that no one noticed that between these two there is a one symbol also, and after it there is a one symbol also, that is the semicolon. This is called the semicolon, this is colon. Remember the both difference. Whenever there are only two dots are there, that is called the colon, and whenever you are using the dot and the comma, that is called the semicolon. Remember the name. And whenever you are not putting the semicolon between these two values, you are unable to access your CSS file. After the ending of it, after the applying, after writing all the style, you have to be compulsory write down the semicolon. If you are not writing the semicolon, you are unable to access your CSS file. This is your CSS syntax. You have to be remember it. You have to be remember what is the name of particular thing. What is the selector? What is the property? What is the description? What is the value? Everything you have to be remember. Now let's see one example for this CSS, simple example. Then we go ahead with the types of CSS. So first example, we will be see here. I will be show you the practical one. Just watch it. It will be show the output look like this. Now, have you apply your CSS? Firstly, I am taking a one file of HTML. Remove everything. And here I'm writing the CSS as a title. Now, simply I'm writing here a heading tag. For example, I want to use the H1 tag. Choice is yours, which tag you want to be used. For example, I am writing here, this is the CSS program, and close the H1. I'm writing only this thing. Now I'm going to save it. Press Ctrl S, otherwise there is a symbol of save here. Or you can go to the file and click on the save. Three options are there. You can one, click on the save. Choose your destination where you want to be save your file. If you are using Notepad++, that time there is an option for the hypertext markup language. If you are not using a Notepad++ and using only simple Notepad, that time you have to write down the extension of HTML. Can anyone tell me what is the extension of HTML? Can anyone tell me what is the extension of HTML file? If you don't know what is the extension of HTML file, how you learn the CSS? What is the extension of HTML file?
Ma'am, .hmt.
.hmt? That is the Himatnagar. It's a .html. Or you can use .htm. Students, if you are forgetting the class 6 and class 7 HTML chapter, go to my YouTube channel from my name, Huzefa Roy. You have to be search for the class 6 videos and the class 7 videos. From that, you revise all the HTML topic that you learned previous 2 years. For the new students, I'm requesting them, please go to my YouTube channel and watch all the videos as the chapter I learned to the class 6 and 7 also on this year. So I request to all the students who are forgetting and who are the new one, please go to my YouTube channel and learn the watch the previous videos of class 6 and 7. You have to just search for the 6, 7 HTML. So it will be show you the suggestion from the beginning. So I'm saving it whenever you are using the Notepad++, the color variation will be there. अगर आप Notepad++ का use कर रहे हो तो color variation दिखाएगा. Text will be always come in the blue color. Attributes are always came in the orange or the yellow color, or sometimes it will be a red. Depend on the screen of the laptop or computer color variation. Now here I'm simply made a program. Now I'm going to run it. Click on the run, launch in the Chrome. So I will be open in the Chrome. You can see the heading here. Okay, the heading will be there. Now I want to add a paragraph. For example, I'm adding a paragraph and taking a copy from the previous some of that. Okay, so there is a no paragraph is there. So I will be take a copy from this. Simply any paragraph you can use. I'm taking a one paragraph, Control V, and close the p tag. Okay, simply I'm taking a one paragraph, opening p tag, closing p tag is there. I'm saving it and show you the output in the web page. Click on the refresh. You can click F5 also. So whenever I click, you can see the output here. Okay. Now we are going to use the CSS. First, simple CSS example I'm going to show you. So for the CSS, what is the full form of CSS? Students, what is the full form of CSS?
Cascading style sheet.
Okay, means a style sheet. That one word is there, style. So whenever you want to be apply any style to a HTML file, use the one tag that is the style. I'm opening it and I'm closing it also. Okay, now how can you write? You can see the syntax of HTML. So for example, I'm taking the same one for H1, color red, font. I'm not taking now a font size, just changing the color and show you the difference. What should you have to write? H1 in a curly bracket. If you are using the Notepad++, opening, closing bracket are came automatically whenever you just open it. Now H1, write down the first color. Color is used for the change the font color, colon, write down the color name, red, and last you have to add the semicolon. Now I'm saving it and show you the difference. जब attributes का use करते हैं वो आपको नहीं करना, यहाँ पे tag add करके directly styles लिखनी है. Because sometimes what will be happen, you forgot it where my H1 tag and why I'm using the attribute here. So for example, this is my output, previous output. Now I'm click on the refresh. So you can see the CSS program heading color is changed to the red. Now, secondly, for example, you want to change in the P tag also. So write down the P, insert tag, selector, curly bracket. Now, write down your style. For example, I'm taking the color two and semicolon and save it. Don't be forgot the semicolon. Some of the not browser are supported without semicolon. Some of the browsers are not supported for semicolon. So remember, just write it down. Make a habit of semicolon. So colors will be changed, right? Now I want to apply one more style in the P tag. For example, I am taking a font size. You can see here font size. It will be written in the pixel. So for example, I am writing a 23x. Semicolon. Control S. Show you the difference. You can press F5 also for refresh, or you can click on the reload also. So font size will be increased. Whenever you click on the refresh, font size will be increased. Choice is your, if you want to decrease, write down the low value for that. I'm writing a 20. If you want to decrease it, write down the 10 pixels. Now, you are applying the formatting for the text. For example, can anyone tell me which are the attributes of the body tag? If you remember, which are attributes of body tag? Anyone remember? Body means what? You can see the white background in the web page. That is the body tag. Can anyone tell me which are the attributes of the body tag? Number one, background color. That is so for all attributes, all tags have a one common attribute, that is a color. So for example, in the body, you are writing here a BG color. But if you are using the CSS, you have to write down the body, curly bracket, and write down the BG color. For example, BG color, I am taking a violet. That is something mistake. Okay, F5, that is a mistake in the BG color that I am writing again. Okay, this is use background color in place of BG color. Alt tab, F5. Change the color name. F5. It's not displayed, so I have to be running again. Okay, so I'm not adding a semicolon here. That's why it's will be not displayed. You can see why it's not displayed. Run it again, or you can run the another browser also, so it will be show you the perfect output. I'm taking in place of background color, background image. In the background image, you have to be write down the name of image that is located on the same one. For example, I have a same on the same, that is I have a one image named logo.jpg. Control S. Let's see the difference. It's not displayed, so means there is a some of the mistake in the code. So simple example I'm taking. Same thing. Wait a moment. Okay, so I forgot a one word for the image. That yes, I cannot directly write down the name of image. So you have to write down the URL in a bracket. Two brackets will be there. In the double quote, you have to write down the name of image. So background image, semicolon, URL in a bracket logo.jpg. Saved it. So I'm adding here one background image URL equals to the double code logo.jpg. So I'm going to run it, saved it, and show you the difference. This is the previous one. I'm adding the background image F5 so you can see the image. Right? You can choose your choice image. आप अपनी choice का choose कर सकते. It's not necessary that you use only this one. But I'm using the background color here right now in place of image using the color.
Ma'am,
Writing down.
ma'am, after doing this, can you share the screenshot of this so I can do the practical?
I will share the practical in a group.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, I have to leave because my phone's battery is very low.
Yes. Sure. For example, so convert. Now, taking examples, first I will show you in the slideshow, then we will go ahead. For example, in the P tag, you are using the color. You can use the text align. Why we are using color? To change the font color, and text align for the alignment of the text. Second, HR. Anyone can tell me what is the full form of HR? Anyone can tell me what is the full form of HR? Old students who are learning from class 6. I'll show you the practical for that. For example, after a P, I'm writing here one tag name HR. HR means a horizontal groove will be insert of one horizontal line in your page. Pressing F5, you can see the difference. I will be change color because it's a color on the gray, so it will be not visible here to us. HR means horizontal groove. Let's apply a one rule for the HR. So you can write down the HR in a curly bracket color. For example, I'm writing here a black semicolon. I saved it and show you the output. At the bottom, you can see the one horizontal line will be added in your output. So HR means a horizontal line. Height means if you want to increase and decrease the size of HR, that purpose you have to use the height. That is change for the happiness. Body tag, in that you can change the color. Color is only for the text color, and background color is the background color of the body. Background image that we are added already. Remember, color is only for the text color. Both are the different. Background color is different one and text color is different one. Both are the different one. Remember what is the difference between the background color and color. Color is for the font color, text color, and background is for the added the color at the background. So this is the simple example. On the next class, we will be learn how can include the CSS in HTML in the different ways. Today, I'm just going to introduce the 3 ways that you have to use CSS in the HTML. First is the inline style. Second is the internal style. Third is the external style. 3 types are used. 3 ways we are using to include the CSS in your HTML. We are adding a CSS with one of the type from this that I will tell you in the next class. Now only that the wow. Very good. Okay, so now I'm going to end our class. Please wait a moment.